Greetings everyone. Welcome to Tanesia's Lots Beauty Tips and Potpourri. I'm Tanesia Ali, and today we're going to be talking about lock extensions, to do or not to do. If you have not purchased my book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, please do so. I'd rather you order the paperback because it can become a working manual for your life if you use it each and every day. This is not a chapter book. It is more of a set of daily mindset reflections and self-coaching tools to really help you to raise in your vibration and up level in your life. It's called Manifesting Your Masterpiece. So I want to talk about these extensions because I see it from a lot of different points of view, and obviously you have to make your own decision when it comes to adding extensions to your locks. A lot of times we do it for cosmetic reasons, we do it for variety. It's an art form, just like we as women are moved by beautiful things. We like to create beauty, right? We like to see beauty. We like to experience beauty. If there's beauty in our lives, whether it's aromatherapy or a fresh bouquet of flowers or something that you're growing in your garden or painting your room or moving your furniture around or wearing something colorful, you feel good. It raises your vibration. So that is really something that should not be underemphasized. We need beauty in our lives. That is why I have these braces, not just for beauty, but because my jaw was doing this and it's affecting the way it's long story. I had to get these. I've been putting them off for so many years, and now my bite is aligning and is shifting my teeth, and my teeth actually have something to rest on. So I'm hoping it will help undo some of the facial skeletal changes that my skin has kind of molded around in this area. I'm hoping to regress to an earlier time when I didn't have certain sagging issues, but who knows? But that too is a cosmetic thing because it makes me feel better about myself. But health-wise, I can actually chew like I need to now. The sensitive areas of my teeth have been pretty much eliminated because my alignment was off. It was creating sensitive areas of my teeth. So health-wise, some of you, there may be some health reasons too why maybe some of you would want extensions. I'm not sure, but I know that when my crown began to move forward with my locks and my hair became thicker in this area, I took several locks that were these baby hair areas and I made locks out of them. And it took quite a while for them to grow. Sometimes they would continuously come out. So eventually I added some kinky hair to it so that it would blend in with the rest of my hair. I think I may have one left now in here somewhere. I know after speaking to one of the ladies on the channel, shout out to, I think her name is Sheila. We have two Sheilas that I talk back and forth with. I think it's Sheila or Cheryl. She had gray extensions added in her hair, and over time it caused her locks to fall out. And so I want to talk about that as well. But for me, I probably had those little extensions in for less than a year. And as I noticed them growing, initially you can't see this, but as they start to grow, you notice the dramatic difference between the weight of the extension and your root bed. You notice a difference in density, and it's that difference in density that is the concern for today's topic. And I want you to just kind of keep an open mind and go into this with your eyes wide open if you do decide to do extensions, because I could see how if I continue to let that extension hang from my own hair, because remember, when you first put the extension in, if you put it in at the top, it's okay initially. I didn't put mine in at the top. I started about here and then I added it, all right? If you put it in at the top, you got a few things going on. Number one, your hair can't breathe, but the advantage of it is that your hair has something to hold on to, so it's going to be stronger. There's going to be more overall integrity. But as that starts to grow down, you're going to still be in the situation that I was in, where the bottom part is going to include the extension and the top part is going to be your hair, and there is a difference in density and oftentimes weight. Sometimes we don't realize how light featherweight our hair actually is. And if you have a lot of these in your hair over time, it can actually weigh your hair down. So let's just talk a little bit about why oftentimes we may use these extensions. Just like me, I had short pieces in my hair that I was trying to grow, and I wanted to be able to have my hair look more uniform. So I did that with a few of my locks. A lot of people, from what I understand, do it for cosmetic variants. They want maybe gray, or they want a different color, and they want to just experiment like we as women do. You know, we're colorful. We're creator beings. So we like variety, and it stimulates the senses. It makes you feel good. It gives you a sense that you can be somebody different, or that you can change something about your look, and it makes you feel more exciting. So the other reason, though, for a lot of people is that when you get the locks, sometimes people kind of want to go through that awkward stage a little more easily. They want to make that transition from a previous hairstyle into Sisterlocks, and they want to do it without having to go through that stage where a lot of people feel they don't look like themselves, or they look a little different, or maybe they have this plucked chicken look and the locks are really short and they just don't feel as comfortable with themselves. I want to put some food for thought out there, and I want to say to you that for me, part of the journey when I got my locks, first of all, before I got them, my hair was long, and I made the mistake of using henna and dye. I've been dyeing my hair for years, but why I did those two, under the impression that because henna is so-called natural, it affects the ionic structure of the hair at a molecular level, and it does not leave the strand as quickly as we think. And so by putting dye on top of that, I experienced rapid hair loss, and I was just pulling my hair out like this over a few weeks. When I would comb it, it was just coming out, and it was mortifying. It was mortifying because my hair was long. And so I said, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm just going to cut it. I can't deal with the daily trauma of watching my strands just end up on the floor in the comb. So I just made the decision to cut my hair. And when I cut my hair, y'all, it was a ratchet hair job. I just cut it. And then with a girlfriend of mine who now has Sisterlocks, she has a much more long. She had them longer than I did. She's the reason why I got them. Serena. She's been on the channel before. She took me to a barber, and the woman, I don't remember if it was a guy or a lady, probably a lady, she cut it all the way down to here, and it was even. But I had this fro kind of thing going on. Back then I used to wear a headscarf, so it wasn't that big a deal, except I could barely get a ponytail, and I felt like I had a helmet. It was traumatizing. So eventually I could get the twist, and I started twisting my hair, and you know, as it continued to grow, eventually I was able to get back into blow drying my hair. At this point, I was convinced I was never going back to chemical treatments anymore. I started loving me, again, loving my hair, and getting to know the aspect of me that had been covered up by the hair relaxers, the straightening, the curling irons, and all of that, and I really kind of liked it. So then I decided to go back and revisit the Sisterlocks. And getting the Sisterlocks, it took my hair a lot longer to lock. I have the 4 reverse pattern, the reverse 4 pattern, so it's a tighter pattern because of the kind of hair that I have. It took my hair a lot longer to lock, so I was in what I consider an awkward stage a lot longer. It lasted what seemed like forever, and once the locks actually started locking, I wasn't in love with that. I remember thinking, I don't know what I thought. When I first got the locks, y'all, I thought it was going to look like it did the pattern. I thought it was just going to look like that all the time. I don't know what, I didn't think it was going to start looking like sort of like a traditional lock. So when it started morphing and stretching and rebelling and curling and kinking and doing all that stuff, I was feeling, ooh wee. So I went through a period where it was like, okay, but I got this. I love this style. I can look at other people. I know how it's going to develop. By then I was doing research. I knew it was a journey, and I began to make the conscious decision to love where I was in the journey. It was a conscious decision, though. It wasn't something I could have just done unconsciously. I stopped. I took stock of what it was I was feeling, why it was so important to me, why was the outer look more important than how I was feeling inside. And so it caused me to go within. And so in making the conscious decision to love my hair and to love my look, and to focus on my internal health and well-being and not put so much emphasis on the outer edifice, it actually elevated me. And that was the beginning of the spiritual journey that would continue throughout my Sisterlocks journey, that has put me in a place today where my vibrational state, my quality of life, the way I look, the way I take care of myself, even what I do as a profession, as an energy healer and a hypnosis professional and a tarot reader and a coach and a spiritual mentor and also an author and sometimes motivational speaker. It has enriched my life because the work that I needed to do started from the inside, and it was accepting myself and not attributing so much of my identity to what I looked like, and even greater, freeing myself. The beginning of a long journey. It just started with the locks because it's taken me over 7-8 years to free myself from what other people think. That has been a journey for me. I didn't realize how imprisoned I was to what other people thought. Often I don't know if we all give the proper amount of emphasis to the decisions that we make in our lives that are a result of feelings of being trapped by how other people see you, trapped by what other people think. And it can look like something very superficial, and you can be dismissive about it, someone worrying about how their hair looks, but it goes deeper than that. It says that you are not free, that you're not authentically you, and things that are external define who you are more than self-referral, than things that are emanating from within you. So it led me on a spiritual journey to come to know myself, to come to love myself, and to come to accept myself, and to free myself from the tyranny of being in a box that other people have designed and decided that I should be in. So I say all of that to say to you that moving through that awkward stage with my locks, when they were shrinking up and the locks were a lot shorter than the length of my hair. And you know how I don't know, I had this thing where I would pull it down and say, oh, it's kind of long, and then it would shrink up, and I'd be like, okay, how all this superficial crap, But the natural hair care journey forces you to love yourself and to come to know yourself and to really take a hard look at what your values are. So when it comes to extensions, ask yourself why it is that you really want them. If it's for purely cosmetics, go for it. It doesn't have to become something that defines you. But if underneath that cosmetic change and that extra layer of effort towards beautification, you start to sense that it's really more about you don't like how you look without a certain length of hair, or you feel a little weird, or you're a little concerned about how your hair may look when you go to work, or looking that short, you look more masculine, whatever it is, get to the root of that and hold the space for you to really examine, why am I doing this? And is it more about what other people think? Does it show a frailty or a fragileness about my own self-concept, my own self-esteem, and my sense of self-worth? Is there, or are there other things that I'm doing in my life that contribute to that? Because we as women, we put on a face for the world, okay? We put on makeup, we make changes to ourselves, and we do things that make us feel good, and there's nothing wrong with that. As I mentioned, we are creators of beauty, and it is a part of our divine feminine energy to bring color, life, beauty, and form to everything that we come into contact with. Don't let anyone ever tell you that there's something wrong with that. But sometimes we do have to look a little deeper, and we have to do a little repair work before we decide to do some of these other things. If you notice that you've been in a space of being in a handicap where you have to put that face on before you go out every day, and you have to put a lot of it on, so much that you don't look like yourself without it, and you're creating almost like a fictitious character, or you have to be someone else, or that there's something wrong with you just being your normal, beautiful, perfect self, then it's worth examining. The other thing is, because of the extra weight that the extensions add to your hair. If you're going to add extensions to your hair, you really need to be vigilant about monitoring your hair, especially if your hair is typically more fine. It is a little bit thinner. You need to really be mindful of the excess weight that can be put on your hair from those extensions. As well, you want to watch the quality of the hair that's being used, because obviously if it's not human hair, and some people use hair that's not human hair, then it's going to suffocate your strands and it's going to contribute to their degeneration. So you want to use high quality hair that breathes. You want to use hair that is not going to trap your locks and contribute to additional fungus or mold being held in the lock when your hair gets wet. You just want to make sure that whoever is doing it can make suggestions about things that you need to do to care for your hair to keep it healthy in the interim. So these are some things that you really want to consider. If you're doing it on one side of your hair versus the other side, or wherever it is that you're putting it, maybe it needs to be something that you rotate at certain intervals, that you don't just do for an extended period of time and just wear those extensions for years straight. It could be a situation where you need to give your hair a break, but you should always be going through your hair and monitoring your roots and checking for breakage, checking for thinning, and feel for the weight of your hair. It should feel as light as possible, and anyone that's doing a really good job is going to match the density of the hair they're adding to the density of your hair, and it will create less risk and possible harm for your hair. So these are really important things to consider. At the end of the day, love yourself, irregardless of what cosmetic things you may do. Let them be enhancements and things that add to the fun of being a woman and add to the experience of being an artist and your body being your own landscape. Change whatever you want to change. Have a ball doing it, but monitor the effect that it can have on your overall health and your sense of self-concept. So you're with Tanisha Ali, helping you to gain clarity, helping you to heal and clear emotional and energetic blockages, up-level your mindset so that you can manifest the glory of God that is with you. Join the evolution. If you have not subscribed to my Butterfly Transformations channel, please subscribe to that channel. The content is entirely different. Also, you can connect with me and support my work on Patreon. You can also purchase the book. Please join the LOCs for Change movement, which is a movement to gather support for voicing our need to be have our concerns regarding the brand validated and not simply dismissed. Don't know where it would go, but need to have the interest there in the event that we decide we do have some options moving forward. Love all of you. I hope that you have a peaceful, prosperous, and productive day. I hope that you feel good about being just who you are. I hope that you're not allowing any dream killers to come and steal the beautiful smile off of your happy face. Be grateful, nurture an attitude of gratitude, and just free flow. Have a beautiful day.